The project is called Old Guys, New Tricks. What happened was, this is my season of, initially it was a season of subtraction. And, as things were slowly being taken away, I'd done, as we all had, I'd climbed the corporate or the professional ladder that had been laid out, enjoyed it, was blessed by it. But at this point in life, things were starting to be removed that I had no power over. And I'm not a control freak. I'm not a control freak. But I did want to engage more openly in this part of my life. I've always excelled in change, and I thought, great, let's get involved in change. Let's do new things. I decided I'd start tennis. Beautiful weather, beautiful San Antonio, so I started playing tennis. But then I realized I didn't want to go on these journeys totally alone. And that is what I'll talk about later on. But right now, as I started looking at doing different things, I started the tennis. Then I'm down at the coast of Texas, so I said, let's go surfing. So I started taking surfing lessons. And then I had 2 songs I wanted to sing to my wife. One was the theme song from Don Quixote, to dream the impossible dream, to right the unrightable wrong. And the other was a mariachi song, Volver, 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 return to me, return to me, return to me. So I started taking voice lessons. And then people started asking me, friends, family, and even strangers, why are you doing this? I said the same thing. In this moment of subtraction, my personal season of subtraction, I wanted to start making a season of addition, adding new things. And so from there, I started taking boxing lessons. And Jesse James Leha has been a personal friend for years, always wanted me to take him. And so now he was shocked and surprised that at 67 years old, I'm his new boxing student. But it's not about sports. It's not about embarrassing myself surfing or with voice lessons. It's about adding things to my life. I just accepted the invitation to get my MBA at Texas A&M School of Business and the MBA. And so as I shared this vision with other people, it came back to me what I originally wanted to say was, in this new world that we're all experiencing together, that I wanted to say, it's full of new things. Tell me what you want to do new and take me with you. The other new thing is I have my first grandbaby. Actually, not in my doing, but yet a new thing in addition to my life. And while I was visiting her in Houston, I had a moment to go by the cemetery my brother is buried. And it dawned on me that the greatest supporters for this initiative are right there. That everyone there would want to do, to the top of their voice, say, I want to do something new one more time. I want to drink every drop of the cup. But I don't want to drink it alone. I want to drink it with you. I want you to take me with you in this new world of new things.
Beautiful. Nice. I like the animation, the emotional context of after you say something that's very genuine and authentic, you smile and put like some head motion into it. So continue to do that. That really speaks to, I think, what you're trying to convey and has a lot of conviction in your message. So on point.
Awesome. So I'd love for you to, why don't you go ahead and take us through your growing up and beginning that corporate ladder, or that
Let
ladder.
me add this other part before I forget it.
Okay.
When I first had the idea, and I have a lot of ideas, some good, some bad, and a lot of times I start on a course that later on I think, why am I doing this? This is not one of those ideas, and it's not one of those courses. But what really solidified my efforts in this was to a friend of mine of another generation. I shared with her the idea, and she immediately picked it up and started developing it. And that to me was the positive sign that it was something special. This is a season for transition for all of us. And we will all go through seasons of transition. I want my friends and my family and my children and now my grandchildren to watch me go through transition. And I hope that it'll give them greater courage and greater authenticity as they go through their transitions. And I invite you to do the same. When we go through this together, that you will be an inspiration for other people of other generations, inspirations for people that you will never have met. And they will experience new things, and they will enjoy transition in a way we've never enjoyed transition before. And in this moment, we design a community of us that are doing the transitions, that are doing the new things, a community that's supporting us as we do this, which we're going to need, and a community that's going to watch. In the end, we'll say, good job.
Excellent. Awesome. Thank you.
But that's your vision, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Wouldn't do it, I told you. Wouldn't do it without you.
Well, it's totally in line with so many things
Yeah.
that I've seen that's possible, you know. So we're definitely going to go back to some of the things that you mentioned and explore those in more depth.
Okay.
I'd love for you to share a sort of a high-level cursory overview of your childhood, what you believe has gotten you or helped you develop a character so willing to be vulnerable in experiencing new things, and also how you have lived this life that it checks off the boxes that most people believe, like, yes, do this, then this, then this, and how your view of that, or how you've discovered that your view of those things are slightly different than a lot of the people of your friends in the same generation, where they thought that was the thing to do, and you saw that as part of living, and therefore able to expand further.
Okay.
And maybe how that difference it plays into.
Yeah, it'd be hard to get in the exact words, but I can go for it.
Yeah, it's just sort of an explanation of, like, tell us, use your life story, if you will, to explore why you believe that you are so enthusiastic about change.
About what?
About change.
Okay, yeah.
And new things, and how you realize that was not necessarily the norm.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Okay.
Okay. But you can start with just talking about,
Yeah, go on.
growing up on a farm.
But I was, I'll get rid of the but.
Yeah.
In this journey for me, I started off as a young farm boy in West Texas. And some people think an agrarian society would be one that was fairly structured, fairly mundane, but honestly, it's just the opposite. The only people that survive are those that fall in love with change and that look for it, master it, and move on. And so in my life, I was never a very good student. And there were portions of my education when no one thought that I would move forward. Because it's that same farmer mentality that you don't give up. You adopt something new, you look at it a different way, you go around the wall differently. And I watched my father do it. I watched the men and women in the community change. They couldn't make it just as farmers, so they became school secretaries and insurance salesmen and bankers and farmers. But they found a way to make it. And I learned watching them. And then I had a nomination to the United States Naval Academy. At the last minute, they found out I had hearing loss in my left ear, so I had nowhere to go to college. And Texas A&M offered me a scholarship there, so I became a lifelong Aggie. But it was the first really big major change. And then I went there with the hopes of being an Air Force pilot. And then the war ended and they didn't need any more Air Force pilots. But they had prepared me for professional school. So I started dental school late, and which is kind of the emphasis for the community. I started dental school late, so I was everyone's project. How are we going to get Hamilton through dental school starting 3 months late? So I started dental school late, and it was just continuing with the community that I'd had at Texas A&M. And that community carried me through. We did well there. I had still owed the Air Force time, so I went to Japan, experienced living in Japan, and then through the military I lived other places, always changing and meeting people in change. Some of my best friends are still friends from 40 years ago that I knew in Japan. And so that community still exists. And then as I got into life, I became a first adapter in the medical field that I was in. I'd see something, I think this shouldn't be this way, and then I would be a first adapter of a new technology, new way of doing things. And you would think that would isolate you, but actually it was just the opposite. Because when you're a first adapter, you'd find out that you start building a community of first adapters. And I love that community, and we all grew and moved forward together. I wasn't thinking far enough ahead because I thought it would always be that way. But you're at a point when that career that you spent all your life planning is coming to an end, and it should. And it's coming to an end on my own terms. And so I'm looking for new communities or first adapters, new communities, people want to do new things. I have no desire to do these new things by myself with no one to share. I am the classic middle child. I'll enjoy everything 10 times more if I can share it. I'll enjoy what you do 10 times more if you share it with me. And so I issue the same invitation. Come take me with you. Show me something new. Let's do something new together.
Awesome.
That makes sense?
Yeah, absolutely. So next, let's go ahead and explore like some of the new things that are possible. So thus far, it's been very vague as to what a new thing could be.
Okay.
And, we've talked about, you and I have talked about how it could be like learning to use Excel, like an Excel spreadsheet, right?
Right.
And so, in this conversation, I'd like to cover like the extreme range of possibility as far as something new could just be cooking, like learning to cook something that you're not used to, or just getting outside of your comfort zone, and what gifts can arise from doing something that's just, whether it's subtle or drastic, as far as something that you haven't explored before. And if you have some examples of your life, from your life of doing something different.
Something old or something new now?
Right, well, any of it, anything, like if you can think of something like, well, something wasn't working and so you made some slight change that maybe was outside of your comfort zone, but you doing it like changed or what that benefit was, like what you learned from it or how it benefited whatever realm that existed in. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. To a point, I think I can weave that back together. I'd mentioned earlier that when I was younger, I had major career changes, life changes. From the time I was in the 5th grade, I wanted to go to the United States Naval Academy. And in the blink of an eye, that ended, and it ended, you could say it was traumatic, but it ended with for a moment, no possibilities. So I had to quickly change course, attended Texas A&M, and in doing so, the blessings for me, it was probably a better match as it was. And I still, my deepest relationships, the people that I commune with, were from that change. And so then, being an Air Force pilot, who knew that we would end the longest war ever and leave me no place to fly, And that was a change because I had planned on being a pilot. It was a dream. So 2 major life dreams gone before I was 25. And so now at this point, I just source back to the blessings of those when those dreams changed. And now all of a sudden, dreams are ending. And so I'm using the same thought process of new dreams when those other dreams changed. And those new communities occurred, and you were in communion with other people. Already, when I share my thoughts with people, I find out that they're doing incredible things, but they were doing them in almost a solitary cylinder. And that's one of the points of this project, is one of my patients at 60 years old went back to nursing school to be an RN, a pediatric RN. I mean, we want to make it really difficult. She goes back at 60 to be an RN. She's in her 70s and she skis 4 days a week. And this summer she's taken up paddleboarding. But she had never told that to anybody but me, because I shared with her my dream. And so she told me what she was doing. And that just reinforced mine. I was in a quandary of whether to accept the invitation to get my MBA. One, because a big new thing I'm going to have to do that I don't want to do. And this is not just about doing, as I said before, new fun things. It's about doing things that stretch you. I've never done an Excel spreadsheet. So I'm going to have to learn to do Excel spreadsheets. I never enjoyed statistics, but I'm going to have to become very proficient in statistics now to get the MBA. And at this point in life, normally, from what I've seen, not being judgmental, but people are retiring into their homes or retiring into what they've done. And I see just the opposite. You know, where I live, where I'm at, is really not germane to my dream of what I want to be. So everything is going to be restructured and redone to accomplish these dreams. You know, I'll be traveling more instead of traveling less. I'll be meeting new people, more new people than I ever anticipated at this point in my life meeting. I'll be learning the new language of business that I had never learned before. So it'll be a stretch. And trust me, surfing at 67-year-old is also a stretch. And when it's 41 degree water, it wasn't particularly enjoyable. But no, I'm excited about that dream. I'm excited about them all. But I just want to keep saying it, though. My greatest excitement, though, is about your dreams. If I do mine, I'll be disappointed if you don't do yours and don't share yours with us. Because we want to support you. We want to celebrate this together. We want to make this echo from my generation to your generation, to your children's generation, to your grandchildren's generation. We want to go out with a roar.
Awesome.
That make sense?
Yeah.
Is that what you wanted to know?
Mm-hmm. No, you hit some things that I was hoping to touch on too. So I would like to.
I got one little quick thing to add.
Okay.
Growing up in a small town, I worked 16 years as a waiter to pay my way through school. That was a new thing. And all sorts of new knowledge, new experiences, but all sorts of new communities. It created me a greater empathy for working people who I'd never met. You know, I was used to farm workers, but people that worked at night, worked at day, had 2 or 3 jobs, and a whole new group of people of incredible talents and stories of their own that I would never met if I hadn't taken that little career path as I went along. And I see the same thing here, is that in this community, I look forward to meeting people that I've never known, and experiencing cultural changes and cultural anticipations of cultures that I haven't had the privilege of being associated with before. And I really look forward to that.
Excellent. Will you repeat the part about meeting cultural? You said a word that kind of got lost as exploring like cultural, like, I don't know what the word was that you used, but.
At the end, or just start to.
When you're just talking about culture, just maybe repeat your
Okay.
excitement for learning about other cultures, etc. However you.
All right. As we were talking about, I was so surprised and excited when I first started becoming a waiter to work my way through school for 16 years. I learned a lot of new things. I learned about which forks to use. I learned about wine. Never knew about wine. But the biggest thing is I met a community of people that I'd never known before. People that worked at night. People that worked at night and worked during the day. And I was so excited to be included in that culture and to be exposed to a different point of view, different sensitivities. And now, doing these new things, myself and the new things you do, we will meet new people of new cultures. And we'll make new friends that we had not made before.
Awesome.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. And will you say something to the effect of, through these experiences, we'll get to see the world through completely new eyes or different perspectives and.
Okay, I got a good example to start off with.
Okay.
As we go to this new world, doing new things, we will have in ourselves new eyes, and we will see things differently. A small story, and please forgive me, but I never thought that boxers were of your higher intelligence group. And Jesse James, please don't get upset with me for saying this, but after taking boxing, an hour of boxing, I am physically beat, but I am mentally beat. I can't believe how smart you have to be a boxer. And I've met, once again, a whole new culture of people. I mean, salt of the earth, risk it every day for a passion that people don't understand. I'll never be a great boxer. But the mental aspect and the physical aspect and the excitement of being there and sharing that with one of the other one is a lawyer named Monig. He's 77 and he's been boxing. He goes at 65, everyone else slowed down, and I said, I want to speed up. And so, yeah, I want to be like he is. At 77, I want to be boxing.
Awesome. Great.
And as we talk about other new communities, I was just speaking with one of the graduates of an MBA program today. And he says one of the greatest things was not the business strategy you learned, was not the going over the business case studies. He goes, but you'll be experiencing a whole new generation. You'll be listening to the fears and excitement and the dreams of 30-year-olds who are taking the same course you're taking, but they have toddlers at home. And he goes, it'll create in you a whole new sense. And really that's what this is about. It's a whole new sense. And we will experience communities, cultures, points of view, visions that we had not and could not do before.
Excellent. Now, when you touched on a few disappointments early in life, and there were two in particular you touched on, and if you could dig into those a little bit deeper as far as like what those disappointments caused in you, like the pain that you felt and the fear, the frustration, if you're able to travel back to those moments of having to completely reimagine what is possible, and perhaps a point where you were left with a choice to go down a route of negativity and like throwing
Yeah,
everything
I don't know.
away.
I don't know how this will come off, but I'll be authentic with you.
Okay.
When we were talking earlier about the first two major disappointments, lifetime disappointments, about not going to the United States Naval Academy. I mean, I have to admit, I still have all the college catalogs from 1967, 68, because it was my first great dream. And as we all often find out, our first great dream is also our first great disappointment. But it was so quick and so utterly devastating that I was neither angry nor sad nor afraid. I didn't have time. I mean, I really didn't. I think if I'd had time, I would have been. I'd have been distraught. But I had no place to go. And in an odd way, it opened up all the possibilities. I mean, I'd been planning on going to the United States Naval Academy since I was in the 5th grade. And that was my singular goal. I became one of the youngest Eagle Scouts ever. I did everything to become a plebe at the United States Naval Academy. And then that ended, but in that ending, it also removed every other thing in my life, and so everything became possible. It just needed to be done quickly. And that skill set is where we're at today. The 40 years of building has now gone away, and now everything is once again possible. It was the same thing when I realized I was not going to be an Air Force pilot and all the sexy things that go with that. And that had been a dream since a farm boy walking the farms and watching the crop dusters fly overhead, or watching the T-38s from the surrounding military bases pierce that blue West Texas sky. Big major dream. And that ended. And so I had to decide quickly. And once again, all the possibilities became open. I could do anything. I could do anything that I put my mind to. And so now, once again, we're right back here. And without regret, without fear, I can't say without remorse, but everything's possible. But it's not just for me. I mean, everything is possible for all of us. And age and sex and gender and social position, business acumen, finances, they're all excuses. All really weak excuses. Because in this moment for all of us, everything is possible. And probably now in this moment, more than ever before in world history, everything is possible. And we really need to take a look at that. And I want to be part of that. And I want to be part of that with you. Is that what you were looking for?
Well, that's great. I mean, I think it would be great if you had ever had some sort of self-doubt, but we can't make
We can go over that. You were talking about change.
Let's go ahead and talk a little bit to the audience, a little more to the audience.
No, let's do the self-doubt. I don't know if you want to put it in.
No, I would love some self-doubt and a little bit of speaking to the audience from a perspective of understanding that it can be very scary. Like, change can be terrifying, like simple, small changes sometimes, that there are barriers to being open to possibility, and at the same time, it's also very simple. So just a little conversation about, like, from the understanding that it isn't necessarily easy for everybody. And perhaps if you have like a specific anecdote of someone that you know, or even a news story or some anecdote that conveys or that exemplifies what happens when people succumb to their limiting beliefs. Even if it's a general, like, I've seen friends, you know, whose identity was wrapped up in being a surgeon or in the medical profession, and be completely devastated when, you know, it was time to retire, or, you know, their identity as a parent was so much so that, you know, the empty nesting process was, you know, tragic for them, or anything like that.
Okay.
Does that
Okay.
make sense?
No, it does. It makes great sense. Okay.
Do you have any photos of both of us in this dynamic?
Earlier, when we were talking about change, my personal change, the loss of dreams, I didn't mean to be flippant or cavalier. I mean, in that instant, I was crushed, and
Will you go back to the specific?
when I mean, I was always the youngest, and so at 17, when my dream of becoming a naval officer was crushed, yeah, I was devastated, and it was terrifying because I had no money, I had no future plans, but it was the energy of that fright that provided the energy to move on. Same thing with the flying career. That was it was not quite as dramatic, but it was the same thing. It was emotionally crushing, and but both those I didn't have a lot of time to get to dwell in what was going on. I need to be what was going to happen. But it was scary, and I've watched other friends go through things, and I'm not saying I was any better at all. Just the circumstances lined up for me. But I watched other friends smarter, more articulate, have the rug pulled out from under them, no fault of their own. And because of how fate was, is they could never make it back. Or at this point in our lives, I see friends that invested everything they had in a career, and now that it's over, they weren't prepared for it to be over, and it's so devastating that they haven't moved forward. And that's also one of the emphasis for this, is that if we don't all share it and we don't all get there and do new things, then there'll be more of us that don't experience, and then more of the generation behind us that don't experience what can happen when all the possibilities have been eliminated and all the restrictions also eliminated. I said earlier this was a season of personal subtraction for me. I had not anticipated being alone at this portion of life. And at that moment, yes, I was definitely knocked off my center, and full of fear, full of regret, remorse, second guessing, all the things that I didn't ever attribute to myself. And part of me still wants to go back there and just wallow in it. I think that can be way too inviting, to play that game in your mind. But no, that's not who I am, and I don't think that's who any of us are. And those things happen because of something we did, a decision someone else made, a decision a company made, a decision a virus makes. That can happen, that can strip us of all our dreams, but that doesn't mean we can't have new dreams. And that doesn't mean we can't share our dreams, that we can't do our dreams together. In this moment authenticity about dreams that ended. I had glassed over big dream that ended. I had an older brother that was incredible man. And I never got to know him like I wanted to know him. And at his death, young death, died early, I found myself, part of me, undone and unanchored. And as someone had mentioned earlier, you seem to always have things together. Well, I did, but that doesn't mean all of me is always all together. And so I still remember that moment, that loss, that physical loss, that friendship loss, the loss of a dream of a different relationship. And so now I find myself once again, I had not planned on, nor had ever categorized myself as experiencing the loss I experienced at this point in my life. I'd done everything for a career that could be done. And now that, as we talked about, that, there's only so long you can be in certain careers. And I saw people, due to changes in economies, saw people due to personal changes lose their careers. And I watched them fight through. I watched them change. And now for me, personally, to be going through a divorce at this age, with a relationship that I never anticipated coming to an end, that I'd invested not enough time in, that I wanted to invest more time in, but a relationship that was a relationship of future dreams. And then when that ended, it was devastating in so many ways. At first, it was just the emotional, just a ragged emotional edge. Whichever way I turned, it's like living in a room full of broken glass. Whichever way you turned hurt, And being, even though I think of myself as open-minded and an open-minded thinker, I'm also very logical. And you find yourself when logic gives you no answer. Not for me, but for friends, when their job ends and it's nothing they did wrong, they do that dance with logic, and that dance gets you nowhere. And I did the dance with logic. Why this? Why this? What could I have done? What could she have done? What could we have done? I think we all have to go through that. I'm not saying not to, but I think you need to realize that dance gets you nowhere. It doesn't move anyone forward. And then after that, after the initial hours, and for me personally, it was so devastating. As a surgeon, it was great that it occurred when it occurred, because I had time lined up to be off. I'd taken time off to celebrate our anniversary and my birthday. And so it was so devastating that for a while I couldn't do my profession. And then for me now, because I'm a very social animal, for me now, the last 9 months without human touch has been, I guess, the greatest challenge for me. Challenge I was not prepared for. When I was young, I was always a loner, but it was because it was my own decision to be a loner. But to be alone, and it's not your decision, is a totally different thing. And I can only imagine I was sitting at a little hamburger joint, and the mother and son were sitting there. And the waiter came up and whispered in my ear, he goes, "If you can, say something nice." Because her husband had committed suicide a few weeks ago. And to me, to be able to conceptualize how she would go on, teenage son by herself. So we all share wounds, we all share disappointments, we all share broken dreams. But I really believe the answer is in the new things. Recreating ourselves, our better selves, recreating our better selves together.
Beautiful. Thank
That's all I have to say.
you. No, that was great.
It's good.
So I think now let's talk about.
I have one thing, one little side funny to add, if you don't mind.
No, please.
At this moment in this discussion, my son and me and my friends always thought I was like Forrest Gump. Because everything happens to Forrest, but he always finds himself in these new, incredible situations. And I do. Sometimes I feel like little Forrest, But when he went back and he was talking with his mother and with Jenny, and he was talking about all the things he had seen, he expressed to them, they said they must have been beautiful. Wish we had seen it. He goes, "You did, you were there with me." And so like Forrest, as he runs across America, experiencing new things, and as you run across America, or the world, you run across wherever you're at, experiencing new things, be like Forrest. Take us with you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, beautiful. I love it. I think now would be great to talk about some of the structure of how we plan to inspire and challenge our community, the community that we build over time to really explore and celebrate opportunities to do new things and inspire others through it. And in this part, let's try to see if you can speak in a little bit more of a quickness, or add some, or pick up the pace with some enthusiasm about the project that we're working on.
Okay. All right.
And you can even, since we don't have all of the exact detail worked out, there's nothing, don't worry, don't hesitate to even touch on that. And
No, but say that again. Say, no, you said it right and I had it and then I lost it.
Sorry.
But say it again.
so during this part, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about, the structure of how we plan to inspire and challenge the community that we're building through these, through the website and through, videos, etc. Talk a little bit about how we plan to, we'll be issuing challenges, regularly issuing challenges. They don't have to be, major changes in your life. Some of them can be very simple.
Okay.
And there was one other aspect to it. Oh, and even touch on we will lean on you all to help us.
Yeah, that's where that was where I was heading.
Perfect. Okay.
No, I was asked the question, are you doing this to inspire people? And my immediate response would be yes, but actually no. I'm doing this so that you can inspire me. We're building this platform, and talk about something totally new. I've never been on social media. I don't have a Twitter account. I don't know the difference between Instagram and Snapchat. Well, I have been on social media, LinkedIn if you call that social media. But I'm excited about that. But I've put together a team. I've got a great photographer. You can't see him, but he's running around behind us. I've got a great business partner who's putting together a team of people that understand the internet, an international team. We're dealing with incredible young man in Macedonia, and we're building the platform for you to inspire us and inspire each other. I'll do some things. I was going to do these things anyway, but I'm going to do some things that may inspire you. But your stories will be the greatest inspiration. And the way we're going to do that, we're going to build this platform so you can send in videos of the new things you're doing, the new careers, the new relationships, the new sports activities. Start playing the cello, start playing the piano. I want to know anything new skills that you're doing. I was intrigued by the lady, the mother of the guy that did Dirty Jobs. At 80, she wrote her first book. And it's a bestseller now. She's doing her second one. I want this platform to be where you share with us the book you're writing. I want this platform to be all the new things you're doing. That'll inspire us all. You know, I'm not here to inspire you. I'm here to build the platform. And this team that is being assembled, that all do things that I don't know how to do. This incredible team that's being assembled, they're being assembled for you. And we're going to issue challenges. And we're going to have blogs. And I know you think I talk a lot, but these blogs are also ways that we're going to engage, that you and I and all of us are going to engage each other. We're going to engage people in Japan and in the Philippines and in Macedonia and Buenos Aires and Chile and Hawaii. We're going to engage people all over. And we're going to inspire each other. But this platform is going to allow us to do this. And this platform is also where others and other generations and other communities can look and say, yeah, we're for that. We want to be part of that. And that's where we're going. We are right now limiting it, though, to those of us that are now declared as elderly. But we're looking at everyone that's 16 above. And because of the changes in the world, a lot of people must do new careers. It's not, they don't have a choice like me. I mean, you're having to do a new career. One of the side notes that we're building a GoFundMe to raise money to fund education for those of us over 60 that find themselves needing further education to get another job. Everybody doesn't have a pension plan. Everybody doesn't have a 401k. And a lot of us are going to have new careers because we have to. And this platform is going to be one of the ways we're going to inspire those new careers, and one of the ways we hopefully help you pay for that new career, that new education. But that's what we're doing. We're building a platform, but the platform is just the paradigm that the community will use to grow. And I'm super excited about it. Did that answer it?
Perfect.
Okay.
Excellent. Adam, do you,
I hadn't thought about including that. This is the big new thing.
yeah.
You know?
I think
Like I would not have met Adam. I would not have met Logan. You know? I still don't know whether those are good or bad, but I would not have met them.
only time will tell. So I think just a few things, because you expanded on a lot, and you've been able to really give us enough granular, organic stuff to play with. Now let's try to get maybe into just like one-liners. Can you explain just in maybe one or two sentences, what do you hope to achieve? Look at Ann and just with as much conviction as you can convey, my goal is to, and then just finish it in one or two sentences.
Why don't you give me, because see, the one or two sentences, boil it down.
I think.
I mean, before, we're not recording right now, are we?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, we're just on.
Oh,
But I think touching on, we don't get to choose the changes in our lives all the time. And it's like a muscle. And this platform is a place to build a community full of those who will inspire and challenge each other to continue to start building those muscles and to make them, and to turn what might seem like a setback into an opportunity to build something greater that you never imagined was possible. That's not all I
All
heard.
right. No, I got it. It just,
And you've used some buzzwords already.
Yeah.
Inspired, being inspired in community. I think of the two that at least it's kind of resonate with me, but you be you.
when we first started off, I mentioned that this is a new world. Changes that a lot of us didn't ask for. Dreams that vanished in the middle of the night. And I said to you, it's a new world with new things. Take me with you. But I offer you something more than that. This project offers something much more than that. We're going to inspire each other to do new things, to get new dreams, new careers, to express ourselves and grow new and become different people than we've ever been before. But we're all going to not just inspire each other, we're going to support each other. And this platform is built on just that. You know, when you've lost a dream, when you've lost a job, when you've lost something and you need to recreate yourself, instead of just quitting, you're going to come here and we're going to share with you on what each one of us have done. How each one of us has created a new dream in a new way. How we've recreated ourselves, how we recreated our families, how we recreated our careers. But these things can't happen alone. The best of everything is for all of us to do this together. I can't do this alone. My team can't do this without you, but we're going to inspire each other and we're going to support each other. And in the end, we're going to celebrate each other. It's going to be a hell of a celebration. And I want you to be there with me when we do. Does that make sense?
Awesome.
Yep.
That's actually exactly that's
the
perfect. And so let's do, that was so good, Kent. You even like right at the end, I was like hoping for that and you gave it perfect. So let's go ahead and, like Adam said, those one-liners, and like they started coming to me. Like you can't always choose change. So choose it now and experience different.
Okay, we'll just chop these, okay.
Yeah.
I'm at that point of life when the things I told my children echo back to me. I used to tell my son, you cannot change the future, but you can change the kind of man when the future comes. Well, now I have to do what I taught him. I cannot change the future. I cannot predict the future, but I can know the kind of person I'll be when the future comes. And I know the kind of people that we're all capable of being when the future comes. And guess what? The future is right now. So we're ready for change. What's the other slogan?
Awesome. So go ahead and share with us one of those, one version of that, whether it's...
Oh, hang on. Let me go. Let me run these through before I forget them.
Okay, let's try to keep as little story as a part of them and just like say the thing. Does that make sense?
Little stories.
Like instead of prefacing, like I used to tell my son, blah, blah, you know, whatever.
Oh.
Go ahead and like give us the line of what you used to
Okay,
say.
okay.
Give the line of what you would turn it into now. Give the line like addressing specifically the audience. So all kinds of versions of that.
Okay.
Like just the maxims.
Okay. I should have been writing this down.
If it does help you to say those one-liners with the reference to the story,
Right.
say it, pause, and then
And then
just
deliver it, yeah.
I was on the beach early one morning before anyone else was there, and I stood watching the waves come in, and I realized it's our decision. Is this a sunrise or a sunset? And I've decided that this will be a sunrise. And I invite all of y'all to spend this sunrise together with us. Not in a sunset. In everyone's life, we're faced with two dates. Mr. Lumber. In everyone's life, we were faced with two dates: the day we were born and the day we die. It is solely our decision on what we do in the space in between. And I want to fill mine up. And I want you to help me fill mine up, and I want to help you fill yours. We're going to fill in that dash between those two dates. Okay. We're all given a cup. Some of us are given golden cups. Some of us are given paper cups. Some are given cups that are full, and some are given cups with not much in it. But no matter what cup you're given and no matter what's in it, let's drink it all. Let's drink every last drop. And let's do that together. I don't remember the other one-liners we had. We had a bunch of them.
What was it like? Was it experience different you really liked? Experience different was like a sort of slogan that we had talked about at one point.
God, do you remember? I know it. I'm
That's what it was experience different, that's it.
But what was the
Kind of lead up, the lead up.
you know,
What about, I like it, like you've mentioned many times, you know, we don't always have the opportunity. We don't always have the opportunity to choose what changes in our life. Let's start. The way you've said it before worked, something like, we can't always choose the changes in our lives. So let's embrace our opportunity to make the ones that we can now, or something like that. Adam, is the sound from the other room a big issue?
Ironically, it's been in between the time that he's talking.
okay. I know what you're saying. I don't have the phrase quite yet. One special invitation. We don't all have the same opportunities. And many times as we're learning, we don't get to choose the opportunities. But we are engaging new opportunities. And we're sharing those, we're supporting those, and we're celebrating them. But I don't have to experience every opportunity that you experience. I don't have to engage in everything that you engage in. But I will celebrate with you. And we'll all celebrate together. And there are sometimes in everyone's life when you can't grab the new opportunity. We'll grab it for you. And we'll celebrate it with you. And that's what we'll do. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's good. And just so you guys know too, because there is somewhat of a reverb and echo here, the audio is good and clean, but some of these one-liners might be best in like a studio. So,
Okay.
Okay.
so
We'll
it's
maybe
good.
come up with some and do some ADR.
Yeah, let me kind of.
Cool. Let's capture what we're doing right now. That way, we can
Okay.
frame
Great.
exactly how you want to say it.
Well, thanks for the support. Appreciate it.
Yeah, Adam,
Yeah, absolutely.
anything else you see is missing, or do you guys think I should say anything? I don't know if it's relevant, and I don't know what context it would be relevant in, but if we're here, maybe it would make sense, I don't know.
So, looking at from what you just kind of jotted down in the notes and kind of campaigning this project and kickstarting it and initializing everything, and a lot of what you've already said makes a lot of good reference to why you're doing it and what you want to have happen. But now you almost kind of want to have, what's the call to action? What do you want people to do?
Yes.
You want them to follow you? You want them to log in? What kind of action response do you have?
Okay, but you give me the words for that.
Well, I think so right now,
Well, this is gonna be, this won't be put up till after we post the,
Of course, so go ahead, we need to have a survey or a questionnaire and say, so we'll have we'll have you do a couple of call to actions, right? So one of them is, we invite you to join us. In order to do so, to be part of our community, go ahead and visit our YouTube page, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, engage with us on Pinterest. And
okay, say that again, I like that. Like us on Facebook,
like us on Facebook.
follow us on,
Follow us on YouTube and Twitter, like us on Facebook, and start engaging with us on Instagram and Pinterest.
okay.
And if this isn't polished, we can totally re-record and use your voice when we do. So just getting something out would be good for a segue.
And then we'll do another CTA also, call to action. So,
Okay.
yeah,
No,
we want you part of our community.
Right.
Like us on Facebook, follow us on YouTube and Pinterest, follow us on YouTube and Twitter, and engage with us on Pinterest and Instagram.
This might actually be better if you just look straight at the camera and just
What?
tell your
Yes, look
audience.
straight to the camera.
Okay.
And you just look up this real quick.
Do we need to move that light with me looking this way?
We can just do this.
Almost feel like it's going through my,
Yeah, I was gonna have a little bit of it in your right side.
I can feel it going through my cornea. No, it's fine. It didn't bother me. I just was wondering if it,
Are we good on time, Adam?
or,
Oh, you're good.
Yeah, we're good.
We're good.
5:30-ish. Yeah. Oh, I can't read it.
so now, we need you to be part of this. And this is not just about me, but I need you. And I need you to follow us on Facebook. I need you to like us on YouTube. I need you to engage us on Pinterest and on Twitter. We're going to make this for your community. We're going to issue challenges. We're going to send you out a survey to see what you're most interested in, to see what dreams you're most important with. But I can't know that. My team won't know that unless you engage us. Look us up on the internet. We're going to be on all the social medias, and we're going to be seeing you soon, but come join us.
Awesome. Let's do that again and talk. You can talk about, we're building, help us build this. Be
Okay.
part of the ground floor and inspire the rest of the world and each other.
Okay. The team that's been assembled and that's included me and so graciously included me with them, we can't do this on our own. If you're interested in this, if you're interested for yourself or your friends anywhere in the world, please follow us on Facebook, engage us on Pinterest and on Twitter, like us on YouTube. We're going to be sending out surveys where you can tell us what you want, where you can direct on how you want this community to go. And this community is going to be worldwide. It's going to cut across all cultures. And it's going to be something that at one point we can all celebrate. But I can't do it. My team can't do it unless you engage us. So we're looking forward to your invitations. We're looking forward to your responses. We're looking forward to you being on this platform with us.
Awesome. I know it's kind of annoying, but can we get you to do it one more time? This time, I just want to tweak the audio because I might be able to get cleaner audio.
Say the words again.
So go ahead and with the socials, say like us, follow us, engage with us. I don't know which ones are which, but we're going to be on all the socials. And I'm going to, by the time, at some point I'm going to learn exactly what they are, but you're going to find me on all of them. Build this with us. We want your insight. We want your thoughts. Keep your eye out for our first challenge, and give us feedback on what you get out of it, or what kind of challenges you want to see. Help us build this. And if you want to just say each thing, like a short thing, like follow us on all the socials, like, help us build this, follow us on all the socials.
Okay. If we've increased your interest in this project, I'm not asking you, I'm telling you, I need you. I need you to follow us, like us, engage us. I don't know about the social media. I mean, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, Pinterest, LinkedIn. It's going to be imperative that you be part of it. We'll be sending out surveys to see exactly how you want this community to grow and where you want to grow to. We're going to be sending out challenges that'll help redefine this community. We're also going to be expecting you to challenge us. Send us the things you want to see. Send us the chances you want to take. The team that's been put together and is growing, it's an international team, and it's here to meet your needs. It's here to allow you to dream as much as you want to dream, but you've got to engage us. Engage us in any way that you can on any of these platforms, and we'll be answering you. And we'll bring everyone necessary along with us.
Awesome.
Like it. It was good.
All right, anything else?
Yeah, I'm kind of done.
Logan, did you see anything that, or you have any thoughts or anything?
No, I nailed it.
Okay, great.
Good talk.
Wonderful.
Talks really
Really appreciate your input and your expertise.
That's amazing.